news. Tom Brady posting on social media he is leaving New England.
I think it's just jarring thinking that what always was now has a period at the end of the sentence.
It's a huge mistake for New England. No Tom Brady, New England, you're just like everybody else now.
A lot of people couldn't wrap their minds around the fact that he would leave and go play somewhere else, but that's just what it boils down to, man.
He's going to have a chance to go into a different environment and be able to put his print on it. I think he's looking forward to it.
People say it's Bill, people saying it's Tom, and now we get an opportunity to see who was the man behind those 6 championships.
Tom Brady appears to be on his way to Tampa Bay.
I'm actually not shocked. I think he loved the idea of chasing after something new.
From a fit perspective, it makes perfect sense.
Good morning and welcome into First Take. Thank you so much for hanging with us. I hope everyone is hanging in there at home and that we can be a nice 2-hour distraction because we have plenty of news today in the sports world. Your guys, Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman.
Look who's sitting down right now, Molly.
Mike Greenberg.
I am here. Good
morning.
One and
only.
Greenie, I only have one thing to say to you. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yes.
I saw you this morning. Your face was priceless when she shared that with you, Bruce Arians' mantra.
He has a lot of expressions. Bruce Arians, I don't know how many wins they'll have this year. I think it'll be a lot. But it won't match the number of little colloquialisms that he seems to have for practically every situation. And candidly, I love it.
100%. In his job interview, apparently he said, I may be 66, but I'm 66 and sexy. I love it. Let's get right into it. Here's the latest news. Tampa is the expected landing spot for Tom Brady, according to our Adam Schefter and Jeb Darlington. The news comes after Brady said goodbye to the Patriots in a series of posts on Instagram Tuesday, ending his 20-year run there. When Bucs coach Bruce Arians was asked at the NFL Scouting Combine who the one quarterback was that he'd pick up the phone for if available, he said Tom Brady. Stephen A., what's your initial reaction to this news?
Well, I'm excited for Tom Brady. I'm excited for all of us because I think once the NFL season gets underway and we see the opportunity for Tom Brady to go against Drew Brees twice a year, Tom Brady to go against Matt Ryan twice a year, I think that's going to entertain us. If they're in the NFC conference, obviously, they're going to be going up against potentially an Aaron Rodgers. We'll see that matchup. We'll see him go up against Russell Wilson. We'll see him go up against Jimmy Garoppolo for all we may know. Of course, the Cowboys as well. So I love that. I also love the fact that Tom Brady's going to have some weapons. We can sit up there and talk about any slippage all he wants to, and I'm not going to deny that there may have been a touch. I'm certainly not going to go as far as others have gone in talking about the level of slippage that they've witnessed because I have been focused on him being bereft of the weapons necessary in order to succeed because I've never seen a quarterback successful throwing the football to themselves. And you got Mike Evans in Tampa. That's not going to be a problem. You got Godwin. You got O.J. Howard. All of these guys are in Tampa with Bruce Arians being a guy. Byron Leftwich, let's not forget his name. This is a guy that was a former quarterback, obviously at Marshall, former quarterback in the National Football League, an offensive coordinator in Tampa. If we're going to sit up here and say that Jameis Winston was not as awful as we all thought he was, and truth be told, he wasn't because he did throw for 5,000 yards, but this is a guy that threw 30 interceptions, which is why he was universally villainized to some degree. But in the end, he had a lot of potential. They had a lot of potential offensively. Byron Leftwich has a lot to do with that. The combination of Leftwich along with Bruce Arians, you got Tom Brady there, not turning the football over, running your offense, ensuring that at the very least you're not going to beat yourself. I think it elevates Tampa's chances exponentially to at least make the playoffs and potentially have some degree of success in the playoffs. So I do like it for him.
Tampa has an embarrassment of riches in terms of weapons on offense. And this was a very smart and, for me, unexpected move from Brady. Not that he's not smart, but the Chargers also have weapons in L.A., and I just assumed that he would want to go to L.A., and the Chargers brand has always been weak compared to the Rams and the Raiders, and Brady could kind of set that, kind of ignite their brand and also set himself up with TB12 and all that stuff. He made the wise choice. He picked the spot where he's more likely to win, which is ultimately better for his brand and any products he wants to sell eventually. I mean, he's selling them now. So I thought it was a smart choice. As I said, an embarrassment of riches and surprising. I was very surprised to read from Bill Barnwell this morning on ESPN.com. They were 5th in DVOA, defensive value over average, the Bucs. They were a really good defensive team, like the underlying metrics. Not that it's a perfect stat, but like PER in basketball or WAR in baseball, whatever stat you want to. That by that metric, which is not a kind of discarded metric, it has value. They were actually good defensively. And now you have all these weapons. The real question is, as Molly was talking to Mike, to Greeny earlier in the segment, no risk it, no biscuit, that ain't Tom Brady. On the one hand, you think if Jameis was so bad that Fitzpatrick was like a revelation at times, boy, Brady with these weapons is going to be amazing, except he's been dink or dunk for years now, especially recently, and then even year over year, more dinking and dunking, and now all of a sudden it's going to be taking shots down the field. That said, this was a shrewd move for Brady, who simultaneously has left the cupboard bare for Bill Belichick. He has set himself up to look as good as possible in the divorce.
I want to expand on what Max just said because I agree, and I'll take it a step farther. Anyone who knows me, my old show or my new one, knows that I'm a fan of the Jets. The Patriots are the arch rival, and I've rooted against Tom Brady in literally every game he's ever played. But I respect the hell out of him, and I respect him even more now. Because all of the talk about would he go to South Beach because it's so glamorous and maybe Giselle would be happy there. Would he go to L.A. because he could set up his production company and all of that. He made a football decision. First and foremost, this was by far the best decision that he could make. The reason Tampa's defense is so good, at least in part, is they have an excellent defensive coordinator in Todd Bowles. He was the head coach of the Jets, was not a great head coach, but an excellent defensive coach. They also last year lost 7 games by 1 possession, and in those games, Jameis Winston threw 18 interceptions. If he had just thrown half that many, they probably would have made the playoffs last year.
85 Bears all of a sudden.
You add all of that together, and I'm telling you right now, I give the Buccaneers as good a chance as any team in the NFC to make it to the Super Bowl this year. I still believe the AFC is the varsity and the NFC is the junior varsity. Another reason it was smart for Brady to make the decision that he did. So if they had to go against Baltimore or Kansas City, then I would definitely like the AFC team. So I will not pick them to win the Super Bowl. But right now, if you ask me to pick the best team in the NFC, if Brady is what we think he can be, you cannot make a better choice than Tampa Bay.